And I'm Molly.
Welcome to Forensic Gameology, hosted by ForensicGameology.com.
Reviews for science.
In 7 minutes or less. Coup Rebellion, G54. Coup Rebellion plays off of its earlier success of the game Coup, in that it plays very similarly. The difference is that there are more than one type of role. So in the first game where you'd have a single duke, now that's considered a finance role, and you could have a duke, or you could have a minister of finance, or you could have a merchant or something, and they now have different powers, and you put the duke card away and you pick out 5 of this new type of card, and you have them all in the center of the table so everyone knows what they do and they can look at them, and then you play as usual. So I'm not going to rehash the rules of regular Coup. You can refer to our other video for that, but to say that these cards are all different but do similar things. Like the assassin, now there's a judge who can kill, and there are people like that in the, what do they call that? The force category. There's force and communications, special interest, and finance. So let's just jump right into simplicity versus complexity.
This game went from pretty simple to a little bit, maybe a lot bit more complicated because there's not the same roles. And people, in regular Coup, you kind of need to know the different roles. So in this one, you definitely need to know, and it's really hard to know because you don't have a cheat sheet like in the other one. That's in front of you only. You have everything. You only have what's in front of the table, so it's harder to bluff. And so that makes it a little bit more complicated because you think, well, what does this do? Well, it's right there. Unless you have the card in front of you, because it also tells you. But if you want to bluff, you can't be like, what is it? So to me, it's a little bit more complicated because of that.
I agree. This is a little bit akin to Dominion, not in like any other style of play, but in setup. You put out a bunch of different cards, and now we all have to look at each and every one of them and memorize them. Whereas in Dominion, though, I can reread those in the middle of the game. If I start rereading these in the middle of the game, it gives you some information. I don't know what that information is. Maybe that it is me, or I'm thinking it's you or something, but there is information that I don't know what the communist does, or what the priest does, or what the judge does, and I need to figure that out for some reason. So it does raise the complexity. Luck versus strategy.
Man, I don't even know. This game, there's a lot of strategy. Table talk means there's a lot of strategy because you can talk your way or attempt to talk your way out of something or into something, or be like, I'm going to do this action and then this action and do a third different action, and then they have to decide which one of yours was a lie. Things like that. So there is a lot of strategy. But with this one, there's going to be more luck just in remembering, maybe that's skill then, in remembering what these things do. That's going to be the biggest hang-up for me. And so I'll bring it up in all of these renditions of luck versus strategy, simplicity versus complexity. But I think there's a lot of strategy. What are you going to do with 2 cards that you're given? I mean, I've seen people win with the unlikeliest of combos. And so it's not like it's not possible. So you get, I don't want these 2, or these are the 2 worst to have. Figure it out. You just cheat.
No, I would never. So I do think this game has some amount of luck, but I think that because it's bluffing, for the most part, it is strategic. You can make a choice to act in a certain way, and then it's a matter of whether they fall for it, or if you think there's enough risk, or if you want to challenge someone else's role. That's all playing the table, and the cards may not even have to be there. It's just playing the table. I think there's a lot of strategy to that. Fun versus boring. I love Coup, like regular Coup. It's in one of my top 5 games of all time. I just love it so much from the very first time I played it to now, and I will always play it, and I'll never turn it down. This game changes it into something different. Not necessarily better or worse, but necessarily worse. But it's. I
was like,
But it's not a bad thing. It's a good game, and I really like this game, and I have a lot of fun playing it because of all those mutations. A lot of those roles change, and you get new, cool, cookie stuff. It's fun. But these roles, by necessity, only counteract themselves. Because you never know, like on the communist card, counteraction, target may claim communist to avoid giving any coins. They don't know on the priest card if you're playing with the communist. You may be playing with a different communications card. So that being, or I guess that's the writer. Point being, I can only counteract you legitimately if I have the same card as you. Whereas in the original Coup, if I have an ambassador, I can counteract the captain. And me having a communist lets me know that there are only 2 more out there. And I know that the chances of you having one is less than if I didn't have the communist. Same thing in the original. If I'm stealing from you as the captain and I don't have an ambassador and you challenge, or if you say that you have the ambassador to keep me from stealing from you, then it's harder for me to know. The chances could be like I don't see any face up. You might have it, and maybe I'll be less likely to challenge you. And to me, that lowers the fun level a little bit. Not a ton. I think this game is super fun. But no going in, it's not the exact same as Coup in a bunch of different ways, and it's just slightly not as good to me. Super fun, though.
Well, so I don't really find it as fun, but I also I'm not a fan of huge bluffing games. But I do like this one because you don't have to lie. So this one, having different roles makes it more chaotic to me, which I generally like more in a bluffing game because then I can get away with stuff. Like, oh, I just didn't know, or whatever. I can just say that and try to talk my way out of it better than in other times. So this is fun. BGG rating, I would still give this one 6 because it's not my type of game.
I'd go 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
I'd always play it. I'd suggest it. I dig it. I dig it.
Subscribe to us on YouTube for your chance to win a glitter painting.
Could be you that wins.
Coup Rebellion G54. We presented the evidence.
You be the judge.